Is a $1 billion Roth IRA over the next 20 years possible? Well, of course it is. And I mentioned in that past video that Peter Thiel did it. He sold eBay and he took the proceeds and put it into a Roth IRA, $2,000, and he manipulated it into a $5 billion IRA by buying up startups inside the Roth and brought it up to $5 billion. So we know it can be done. I did the math. Over 20 years, all you've got to do is allocate $6,000 a year into your Roth IRA and then achieve an average of 75% per year over those 20 years, and you'll have over $1 billion. So we know it's been done, and we know the math, how to get it done, and we know that we can build a $800,000 Roth IRA just by using the success companies of the past. That's Apple, Google, Amazon. I showed you that. Here it is. So all we got to do is find the startups. So how do we do that, Kerry? I don't have time to do that. Well, I do. And what I've learned is through using artificial intelligence and through using the data that I can access on my computer today. It does crash because I do a lot of Google Sheets on it that draw a lot of pertinent information on a timely basis. But I'm going to get an AI factory from Dell with the help of a Jensen Huang GPU or two in it, and I'll be able to do this. Yeah, I'll be able to. I will be able to ask Samantha in my factory, what are the startups, what are the companies that are in a position to give me in excess of a 75% average rate of return over the next 5 years. And all I got to do is do that on a regular basis and keep updating my Roth IRA. Again, keeping the core of it, the 5 main stocks, the 5 stocks that are currently growing, and then the 5 startups, and it's done. I'll take you to my computer and show you. This is not rocket science. It came very apparent to me this morning. I was watching Squawk Box, and they have this trivia every morning, and they ask the question. What movie was introduced today in 1981 that became a box office hit? Well, I got to thinking, all I got to do is ask my phone that, and I did, because they got the 3 minutes that they're doing commercials, and they came back, or I did with Google, and I said Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, I was right. Well, I asked myself, if they had asked me that question 20 years ago, where would I have gotten the answer? I guess I would have had to gone to a library, or if I was a movie buff, maybe I know, but there was no source for that answer. Well, the same thing is happening again, because I will be able to ask, what are the startup companies that are going to give me an excess of 75% return over the next 5 years? And it'll give me the answer. If I know how to ask the question, if I know where to go for the data, that's how the world is changing. So again, is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable? No. Not unless you know the right questions to ask your AI factory. That's the key to the future. Let me show you exactly how I will build. Now, the problem I have is I don't have 20 years. I got the 6,000 a year, but I don't have 20 years. But you do. And if you want it, I can show you how to get it. Okay, understand this is a hypothetical what if, just to say that if these things happen, this is what the result would be. So I took my 5-year portfolio and I added some companies to it: AEHR, Fix, SMCI, Vertiv, Dell, and I came up with them using the last 5 years, an average of 69%. That got me up to over 20 years. If I continued, I would have about an $800,000 portfolio. So I said to myself, okay, what if I bumped the last 15 years up to 75%? What would it amount to? And it came out $1,415,885,000. So that shows that mathematically it's possible. So what has to happen in order for these companies to get that high? Well, you've got to introduce some startups that supplement it. And so I went and found some startups that I'm following and plugged them in and said, okay, based on what I know and what they're doing, what are their possibilities? And that was Symbotics, Ultra Clean, that's UCTT, Excelis, Navitas, and added them in and said, okay, what if I could get that average return up to 75%? And that will get you there. That's like what I show up here. If I can get this to 75%, I'm going to have $1.4 billion in my 20-year IRA. As I said, my issue is I don't have 20 years. So how does that happen? Well, the answer to that question is you connect the dots. You recognize that what got you here with these companies is AI and semiconductors. And then you ask yourself, what are the problems that these people are going to have to face as they move into this era of accelerated computing and dependence on high-powered semiconductors for the advancement of our society. And that's why I come up with Symbotics, which is a company that is using robotics and AI to revolutionize distribution centers. Right now, they're converting Walmarts and Targets, and that will eventually be everything. So I'm confident they will get that kind of growth. Ultra Clean is, again, a semiconductor company that institutions are now starting to invest in, because they have to have a totally clean factory. I just saw a school where a trade school in Florida where they're teaching young people to work in a clean environment within semiconductor plants. So that's a part of our future. This is a company that has a moat built around it, and it's a small company that provides a service that semiconductors companies, particularly as we get into electric vehicles, that has to have. Navitas is a new company that's taking that silicone wafer and adding a substance to it that allows it to transfer more heat, run more efficiently, and solve a pending problem within the industry. So if I can find these companies, and how will I find them? I will go to my AI system, what I call my AI factory, that I will buy from Dell, which will be a computer with GPUs in it so it doesn't crash like my Dell that I bought a year and several months ago, crashes now on a daily basis because these Google sheets have so much data and that is being updated that they put a heavy load on my memory. And I can't do recording of videos and rendering of videos on my Adobe and do the sheets at the same time, so I have to shut things down. But my new computer will be able to do that. I will be able to ask it to go find me those companies that are going to solve the heat problem, the electrical problem that data centers are going to experience as a result of accelerated computing. My computer and AI will search every article on the internet, come back and give me that information, not for me to read, but put it into an audio file that I can then put earbuds, put it on my iPhone, go for a 2-hour walk, talk and carry on a conversation, not just listen to it and try to learn, because I don't learn that way. I learn by asking questions. I have to understand the dots and then connect the dots to learn. And that's what it will do. I will tell it, find me those companies that either are Symbotics, Ultra Clean, ACL, or Novitas, or some others, and they'll fill in my spreadsheet. And that will give me the companies I need to achieve my $1 billion Roth IRA that is funded with $6,000 a year. Is that a pipe dream? No, it's a reality. It's a way the world is changing. Now, does that mean everybody will be able to do this? No. No more than everybody knew how to answer the question of what was the movie on, June the 12th, 1981, that became the box office hit. Not everybody knows you can ask your phone that question and get the answer. There is a big majority that does, but it took us a long time to get there. It isn't going to take us that long to get to where I'm going with a $1 billion Roth IRA. I just don't have 20 years. I might have 10, but I'm going to get it done. Samantha and I are going to get it done. And if you want to come along for the ride, the bus has seats available. Get on the bus.